Welcome to the Kapha pacifying sequence. Kapha is associated with earth and water. Although Kapha energy is very grounded, in excess it can be associated with a feeling of heaviness or stagnation. For this reason, this sequence is designed to get the body moving and increase the heart rate while honoring the strength of Kapha to settle back into a grounded state of being. During this practice, you will be cued to return to observing your breath. Make your way to a seated position, crossing the legs and elevating the hips above the knees. Take a moment to settle into your seat and notice your breath moving in and out. Imagine that as you breathe in, the crown of your head is lifted up towards the sky. And as you exhale, let the hips soften, knees moving a little closer to the ground. Imagine your spine is like taffy being pulled. And there's a long line from the top of the head down to your seat. And with every inhale, you're able to lift and stretch that taffy a little bit bigger, a little bit longer. Notice if your trunk is leaning forwards or backwards, and position yourself straight up. Next, we'll welcome a little movement with your breath. As you breathe in, lift your arms up overhead. On your exhale, drop your hands to either side, coming to a twist, looking to the right. Breathe in and come back to center. And then breathe out to twist to the left. Move on your own breath 2 more times each direction. On this last inhale, come back to center and exhale to bring the hands into heart center. Feel the palms press towards each other, thumbs press in towards the sternum. And then glide the right hand down to the floor or a prop, and inhale to lift the left arm up and arch the trunk over to the right. Hold for one big breath. And inhale to come back to center. Left hand finds the floor. Inhale to lift the right arm up. Exhale to arch it over to the left. One breath here to hold. And then inhale to bring both hands up, reaching up towards the sky. And then exhale to go over your ankles and find yourself in your table pose. Stack the wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Bring the belly button in towards the spine. When you feel stable, begin to move into your cat-cows. As you inhale, let the belly move down towards the floor. Open the chest through the gate of the arms. When you breathe out, arch the upper back, pulling the belly button in towards the spine. Move gently between these two positions, flossing out the spine, lubricating the joints as you move slowly with breath. Notice if it's hard to move with your breath or if you settle into a little rhythm that makes sense in your body. And noticing without judgment how your body is reacting today and how your breath is integrating with your movements. On your next inhale, come back to a neutral spine, back to table, and then walk the hands forwards, tuck the toes under, and on an exhale, lift the hips up into downward facing dog, creating an upside down V shape with your body. Press your hands down and forward, clawing through the fingertips, and rotate the upper arms out, away from the ears. Allow the shoulder blades to glide up towards the ears, and sink the heart towards the feet. Bend in the knees and lift the hips up a little further towards the ceiling. Maybe even lifting the heels up, prioritizing length in your spine over having the heels flat on the ground. Breathe and hold, creating heat in the body. One more big breath. And then on an exhale, walk the feet towards the hands, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold again. And then inhale to roll up to standing, lifting the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart, Tadasana. Again, find the Sushumna, this line of energy, now straight from the feet on the floor up through the crown of the head. Feel the spine lengthen. And then inhale, lift the arms up overhead, maybe a little arch in the back. Exhale to fold, hinging from the hips. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out to fold. And then breathe in to roll up, arms reach for the sky. Breathe out to bring the hands back to heart. These are foundational movements to moving through a sun salutation. We'll move through this phrase one more time. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forwards. Breathe in, coming into a halfway lift, straighten the spine. Breathe out to fold. Inhale to roll all the way up, reach the arms up towards the sky, and exhale, bringing the hands into heart center. Pause. Notice the heat you created in your body. Notice any discomfort or adjustments that you want to make for the next time we move through this movement. And then watch your breath as it moves in and out. Notice if the pace of your breath has increased. And then watch it slowing as you hold stillness. We'll move through a full sun salutation. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out to fold, finding hands to the floor. Walk the feet back, downward facing dog. One big breath in and out. And then on your next inhale, glide forwards into plank pose. And then exhale to come all the way down to your belly. Breathe in to lift the heart up, cobra. And then breathe out to press hands into the floor, lifting the hips up, downward facing dog. Hold. Breathe. On your next exhale, walk the feet towards the hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold again. And then inhale to lift up, reaching the hands towards the sky, standing tall. Exhale, hands to heart. You might notice that you move a little faster or slower than my cues. Follow your own breath rather than simply listening to what I'm saying. Walk the feet mat distance apart, with the toes slightly out. We're going to move into some sun breaths. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale with a sound and lower the trunk down, coming into a fold. Inhale to swing the arms back up and exhale, folding down. Move with your own breath, noticing how this big movement and this sound allows you to let go. It's okay if you feel a little silly. You're going to need to move at your own pace, pausing if you need to, especially if you feel a little dizzy. And then we'll all meet back in Tadasana. Position the feet back, hip distance apart. Pause. Notice any change in your breath. Notice if you are able to get your heart rate up. And then use your breath to bring your heart back to baseline. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. And breathe out to find your hands to the ground. Step your feet back, downward facing dog. This time we'll move a little bit slower, moving between downward facing dog and plank pose. Let your inhales bring you into plank. Exhales bring you back into downward facing dog. Move with your own breath, noticing if it feels more beneficial to hold the plank or to hold the downward facing dog. As you glide into your plank, make sure that your wrists are right under your shoulders. Usually this means walking the feet back a little. And then notice how your downward facing dog feels if you glue your feet and your hands where they are. We'll all meet in plank pose and hold for 2 breaths. On your next exhale, lower down to the ground. And then inhale to lift the heart up, coming into cobra. Exhale to settle back down, stacking the elbows under the shoulders, coming into Sphinx pose. Spread the fingers wide. Imagine that you can press the mat down and forwards. Lift the heart through the gate of the arms. And then slowly begin to move one foot at a time, lifting one leg and then the other, alternating right and left like you're swimming. Continue to breathe evenly. Notice any tension in the low back. Move a little bit less if you're finding this is creating tension, or you might even swim the feet while leaving the trunk down on the ground. Come to stillness again, pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat. Bring the hands back under the shoulders and inhale to lift the heart up, coming into your cobra. Exhale to lower the forehead towards the ground. 2 more times. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. Last time, breathing in, lifting as much or as little as you need today. And then exhaling to come back down. With the forehead on the earth and the arms out to the sides in a big T, press the pelvis and the tops of the feet down into your mat, creating stability. And then inhale to lift the arms and the trunk up as far as you can without any support from the hands on the floor. Exhale to lower back down. 2 more times. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower back down. 1 more time, feeling the shoulder blades move towards the spine as you lift the arms up. And away from the spine as you bring the arms back down. Option to continue this movement or come into bow pose. If you're coming into bow pose, bend the knees and reach the hands back for the outer parts of the feet. On an inhale, press feet into hands, hands into feet, lifting the chest up. You might even feel the breath allow the body to rock forwards and back, sending your breath down towards the ground. Wherever you are, hold 1 more breath. And then exhale to come into crocodile pose. Allow the whole body to lay on your belly on the ground. Stack your hands, placing your forehead on your hands. Bring your big toes together and your heels away to externally rotate the hips. Wiggle the hips a little side to side, allowing the muscles in the low back to relax. Come back to watching your breath, feeling your inhales move the belly towards the floor. Exhale, soften the body, feeling this melting sensation towards the ground. Rest. One more breath. And then glide the hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes under, and on an exhale, keeping the elbows in towards the rib cage, press yourself up into your plank pose and hold. You may choose to stay with the knees straight, or you can bend the knees. One more big breath in, and exhale to lift the hips up, finding your downward facing dog. Walk the feet towards the hands, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold again. 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Last time, straightening the spine, feeling that line of energy, and breathing out to sink, keeping the knees soft. Rest in your forward fold for one breath. And then on your next inhale, slowly roll, articulating through the spine as you come up, allowing the head to be the last thing to land in your Tandasana. Feel all four corners of your feet planted on the floor. And then inhale, feeling the crown of the head lift, noticing a sense of lightness. Settle into your Tadasana. Shift your weight into the right foot, lifting the left knee up towards the chest. Hands can press together at heart center, or you might even bring your hands to your hips. Lift up out of the right hip, feeling length rather than collapsing into the standing hip. Inhale to lengthen the spine and exhale to send the left foot back, coming into your crescent lunge. Arms can reach forwards. Notice if your trunk is tilted forwards or back, and then position it right over the hips. Inhale, open the hands out away from each other, big T, and then exhale to twist the trunk over to the right. Inhale to bring the trunk back around to center. Reach the hands forward, and then shift the weight back into the right foot, lifting the left knee in towards the chest, standing on the right foot. Breathe and hold. Notice if you have to wiggle your ankle or your hip, or if your foot wants to come down to the ground. And attempt to adjust until you feel that wiggle in the ankle and stability in your hips. One more big breath, and then place the left foot down on the floor. Pause. Notice the asymmetry in your body, the echo of your practice on the one side. And then shift your weight over into the left foot, lifting the right knee in towards the chest. Lift out of the left hip. Lengthen the spine. Find your ankle wiggle. And on your next inhale, grow a couple inches in the spine, and then exhale to reach the right toes back, coming into your crescent lunge. Weight is up on the ball of the back foot. Arms reach forwards. Inhale to reach the hands away from each other, and then exhale to twist over to the left. Inhale to come back around to center. Find your stability. And then shift your weight into the left foot, lifting the right knee up towards the chest once more. Notice any change in your balance. Allowing yourself to have any support that you need, maybe touching the toe down. One more big breath here, and then place the right foot down. Both feet firmly planted. Walk them away from each other towards the edges of the mat. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, come all the way down, yogi squat. And then we'll find our way to seated, however that works in your body today. And then come into a little ball, bringing the heels in towards the seat, wrapping the hands around the feet, bending the forehead towards the knees. Again, notice how you feel here. Notice any change in your breath. And then option to begin to rock forwards and back along the spine. Make sure you have enough room at the back of your mat. And this can be really energizing. Just notice what your body wants and is craving in this moment. We'll eventually all meet laying on our backs, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Allow yourself to settle into the ground once more, maybe wiggling the hips a little side to side. And then bring the right ankle over the left knee. Option to stay right here if you already have a nice stretching sensation in the hip. Or you can reach the hands through and grasp the back of the left leg, pulling it in towards the chest to increase the stretching sensation. Option to gently rock a little side to side or to stay still. Hold and rest. If you're holding the leg, let go and bring the arms out into a big T. And then let your legs drop over to the left, coming into a twist. Keep the shoulder blades grounded on the floor, maybe shuffling the left shoulder out from underneath you. Take some deep breaths, sending the breath down towards the pelvic floor. On your next exhale, pull belly button in towards the spine, and then bring this whole structure back up. And place both feet firmly on the ground once more. Bend the left knee and bring the left ankle across the right thigh. Notice if you feel that stretch in your hip, or if you need a little bit more. And you can once again thread the hands through, holding the back of the right leg and pulling the knee in towards your chest. Option to rock a little side to side or to hold stillness. Allow the breath to soften. And if your hands are holding the leg, let the leg go and bring the arms out into a T. Let this whole structure of the legs fall over to the right, coming into the twist on the other side. Firmly plant the shoulder blades down into the ground, maybe shuffling the right shoulder blade out towards the edge of the mat, keeping it underneath you. Breathe deeply, feeling the inhales move all the way down to the pelvic floor. Exhale, soften the body towards the earth. On your next exhale, bring the belly button in towards the spine and then bring this whole structure back up. And plant both feet on the ground. And look around and see if you have a block or another object that you're using as a block handy. And then inhale to lift the hips up and place the block under the hips to come into supported bridge. Allow the feet to feel firmly planted on the ground and the hips to soften. Option to stay here or come into half plow, letting one foot and then the other stamp towards the ceiling. You can shift the feet forwards and back a little until you find a spot where it takes very little effort to keep the legs hanging, suspended. Allowing yourself to have this inversion. Imagine all of the stagnant energy that's down in the legs flowing out. All the work you did settling in. And when you're ready, let one foot and then the other find the earth again. Meeting back in your supported bridge. Inhale to lift the hips off of your prop. Slide the prop out from under the hips and let the hips settle down into the ground. You might windshield wiper the knees a little side to side, making sure that the low back can settle into the ground. Find your bolster and position it under your knees and then lay flat on your back for your Shavasana. With the palms up, welcome a sense of being light and suspended between the earth and the sky. Begin to welcome a little movement into your body. Maybe turning your head side to side, feeling the back of your head massaged against the floor. And bend the knees to place the feet on your bolster or the floor and gently rock the body side to side, letting the knees fall to one side and then the other, and eventually come to laying on your side. Take a moment here to think of one thing that you can be grateful for as you move forward with your day. And then press the hands into the earth to bring the body up, coming back to your comfortable seat. Option to bring the hands together at the heart, Anjali Mudra. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope this served you well.